All right, welcome back to the channel. So Kell Brook says that in her interview yesterday after his fight about Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. how that fight's gonna play, and Kell Brook says I'm riding with Terrence Crawford and he is the better man. I'm gonna break it down for y'all. Let's talk about it in this video. King Jr. got another video for y'all. So Kell Brook recently came off a victory against Amir Khan yesterday. This was a fight that you couldn't miss yesterday. I recently watched the fight yesterday, and Kell Brook, he was landing some big shots, catching them with the right hand every single time, and it's like I think Kell Brook wound up hurting Amir Khan with a jab in the first round. And Kell Brook, towards the end of the round, he was laughing. It was a very entertaining fight. And this was a fight that you couldn't miss at all. But with that being said, guys, Kell Brook says that in her interview, he was doing a couple interviews yesterday, and he recently said that who do you have winning a fight between Errol Spence Jr. and Terrence Crawford? He's picking Terrence Crawford. And, I can't disagree with his opinion because it's a winnable fight for both guys. I'm picking Errol Spence Jr. I don't want to break the fight down too recently on why I pick Errol Spence Jr., but I'm going to pick Errol Spence Jr. because I think Errol Spence Jr. As a fighter, even though back towards the early of his career, that wasn't 100% Errol Spence Jr. That was kind of an Errol Spence Jr., that was more into the money, more into the fancy lifestyle, and all that took a turn for the worse when he got into that terrific car accident, and he made his comeback in 2020 against Danny Garcia. And Errol Spence Jr. since then has been rededicated himself to the sport of boxing. And personally, I think that this fight between Kell Brook and Amir Khan gave off a lot of vibes that this fight could potentially be big, just like this fight, even though it's old. But the energy is going to be like this when Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. fight. And obviously the boxing fans in the UK, they have such a big fan base and such ride for their fighters. It's ridiculous. And a lot of people want to know what's next for Kell Brook. A lot of people says that it's Keith Thurman and stuff like that. That'll be a pretty good fight. I think Kell Brook need to start fighting some young guns, get him out of there, and he could potentially get his name back in the mix. A lot of people want to see Kell Brook versus Conor Ben. That'll be an interesting fight and stuff like that. But the energy yesterday, this was a fight that you just couldn't miss yesterday. And Terrence Crawford, he was just looking at the fight, and Terrence Crawford, this is my man. If these guys can come out 7 years later and fight like this, I'm sure me and Errol Spence Jr. can do it. And everybody didn't care about. I'm gonna give a prime example of this. Everybody didn't care about when Floyd Mayweather fought Canelo Alvarez. Everybody didn't care about when Floyd Mayweather fought. God, I'm having a brain fart. It's just that everybody didn't care about Floyd Mayweather fighting Shane Mosley and all the other Hall of Famers that Floyd Mayweather fight. Everybody wanted to see Floyd Mayweather fight Manny Pacquiao, and that was going to be the huge fight in the history books. And as you see, everybody predicted that Floyd Mayweather will beat Manny Pacquiao, and he did. And everybody had predicted that Kell Brook would beat Amir Khan, and he also did as well. And I feel like that the magnitude is going to be even ginormous with Errol Spence Jr. and Terrence Crawford. Both of these guys want to make this fight happen. We've been trailing on this fight for about 3 years, and a lot of diehard boxing fans say, look, we ain't got 5 years to wait on this fight. We need to see this fight this year towards the end of 2022, because we don't want to see Errol Spence Jr. versus Terrence Crawford in 2023 or 2024, because it will be in a scenario that this fight would happen like Amir Khan and Kell Brook, and everybody wanted to see the best in their primes, and everybody felt like that these two guys were shot. Why not put them in the ring? And they put on a damn good fight. And Amir Khan, you just can't train a chin, even though he got stopped in the 6th round. You just can't train a chin to be strong. But it shows you the hand speed has not failed Amir Khan, and To be honest with you, I think Kell Brook looked at absolutely in great condition in this fight. And now that long time rivalry is over, and I cannot wait to see the fight in magnitude with Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. I'm picking Errol Spence Jr. because I think Errol Spence Jr. has rededicated himself to the sport of boxing, and eventually I'm going to break it down on why I think Errol Spence Jr. will beat Terrence Crawford, and I'll give you one reason. The one reason why I say that Errol Spence Jr. will beat Terrence Crawford, because Errol Spence Jr. doesn't have to rely on his athleticism as much as Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford does have to rely on his athleticism, and Terrence Crawford, if he's down big on the scorecards, Terrence Crawford looking to seek and knock you out. And I think that Errol Spence Jr. is not going to be that way. I think Errol Spence Jr. is just going to continue to look to box Terrence Crawford, frustrate Terrence Crawford, and potentially get the victory over Terrence Crawford. That's how I feel about the whole thing. But with that being said, Kell Brook says that Terrence Crawford is going to be the man to beat Errol Spence Jr. And it's just going to be that. It's just going to be Terrence Crawford all day. So obviously Kell Brook supports Terrence Crawford, even though they fought and Terrence Crawford knocked him out, I believe, in the 4th round. But Terrence Crawford, he's picking Terrence Crawford to beat Errol Spence Jr. With that being said, guys, it is what it is. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. This is your boy King Jr. I'm out of here. Peace.